What's up, guys? I'm doing my official talk about basically my next upcoming fights because everybody's been calling me, and for whatever reason the websites have all been saying what I'm doing, and they're like, don't say anything. I signed the contract yesterday. I'm dropping 135s and fighting Mizugaki at the Palms in Vegas, which are the Maloofs, Sacramento Kings. What's up, guys? Sacktown. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's been a goal of mine for a long time to move around in weight classes. I think really the pound for pound lists always are changing and things like that. But I think the guys that really belong there, the guys that can really change weights and be effective in different weights. So I've been a world champion at 145 pounds. My goal was to be a world champion again at 145 pounds and then possibly go down. But I think there's some big fights for me at 135s, and I think it's more of a natural weight for me. In college, I was a 133 pounder. I wrestled 5 years at 133 pounds. That's with an hour weigh-in. That means you weigh in and then you compete 1 hour later. And that's 6 months straight of competing. So I was making weight every week, sometimes a couple times a week, making 133 pounds and competing an hour after that. So I know I can make the weight. I've been actively trying to put on weight over the last 7 years, and I've done a pretty good job of it, but I'm still small for the weight class. I mean, there's been no qualms about that I'm one of the smaller guys at 145 pounds. I've been next to guys like Bowles and Wineland and Miguel Torres and guys like that are walking heavier than I am and competing at 135 pounds. But, it was like a why fix it if it's not broken kind of deal. I think I was a world champion at 145s. I felt like I could beat all those guys at 145 pounds, and it was kind of a decision that I had talked about a long time ago, wanting to make the change to 135s. But I've got my boy Joseph down there, I have Charlie down there, I've got Scott Jorgensen down there, I've got a lot of my buddies that are down there, and I was doing great at 145. So that's at this point where it's been kind of a consensus from Zuffa and from the WEC that they want me to go down and do some super fights down there. And who knows what's going to happen. I might pop back up. I still have some weaknesses to fill in. I've got to work on my Muay Thai, defending leg kicks. I can defend 90% of the people's leg kicks and offense out there, but I need to be able to defend 100% of everyone's leg kicks. So that's something I'm actively going to work on and compete, do some big fights out here, see how I feel at 135s, and kind of be mindful also of my teammates. I'm not going to fight Joseph Benavidez. I really believe he's going to be a world champion here after this next fight. But there are some big fights for me at 35s, and we'll just see what happens. I would love to fight Dominic Cruz. I don't really like Dominic Cruz. I think he's grown up probably a little bit since I fought him, but just some things initially that irked me about him was, him signing over my face when we fought, just being disrespectful, kind of like a little punk. And so, I can't wait for Joseph to beat him up, and that's another fight that could happen for me, down at 135s also. I'd love to eventually, go back up and fight at 45s, have some fights at 55s. I feel like I can compete at all different levels. At the top level, it's really comes down to changing game plans. So at 135 pounds, it's going to be tough competition, but I'm just going to have different game plans and different strengths, and that's what I'm going to deal with. So I just love the fight game, man. This is going to be interesting for me. It's another challenge. Making weight's not going to be easy like it has been in the past. It's going to be actual work. It's going to be a chore. I'm going to dread making weight, but I've done that for 5 years, competing in college, and this is something that is a regular thing for me. I'm actually going to be competing 3 pounds heavier than I did in college, and 24 hours difference in recuperation time. So I get to, I'll probably walk into the ring within 2 to 3 pounds of what I walk into the ring after making 145 pounds. I probably walk in about 153, 154 when I walk in at as a 135 pounder, and I'll keep my weight right around 54, 55, about the same as I am now, and then just cut out, start making the weight at weeks out instead of 2 days out like I did for 45. So it's going to be different, but I'm excited. I can't wait to get in there and test new waters and mix it up and you know, being on the undercard for my boy Joseph Benavidez is huge for me, man. I'm excited about that. Just, you know, Joseph came to my camp in Sacramento. He was one of my first guys to come and commit to being on our team from out of town. He was amateur when he first started fighting, undefeated as an amateur, built his professional career. He's put on weight, he's improved as a fighter, he's developed his own style, and right now I think he's the best guy in the world at 135 pounds, and I'm excited about being on the undercard of Joseph Benavidez for once. So cheers to that, and any other questions? I'm going to be doing all sorts of interviews coming up, and I can't wait to see you guys in Las Vegas, August 18th. It's going to be a crazy fight, man. We're going to go butt heads with some Japanese guys.